Lila stood on her front lawn, staring at the mess that used to be her solar panels. The sleek black surfaces, once a symbol of her commitment to sustainability, were now smeared with thick, uneven layers of white paint. The HOA's uniformity mandate had struck again, and this time it was personal. Her fists clenched as she recalled the years of battles with Karen, the HOA president, whose obsession with aesthetic perfection had turned their quiet neighborhood into a battleground. Lila's solar panels, her pride and joy, powered her home and, crucially, the security system that kept her safe after a string of break-ins last year. Now they were useless, and the betrayal stung like a fresh wound. Karen's voice cut through the morning air, sharp and unapologetic. Lila, it's for the community's good. Those panels were an eyesore. We voted for uniformity. She stood on her porch, arms crossed, her perfectly coiffed hair unmoved by the breeze. Lila's blood boiled. The HOA had sent notices, sure, but painting her panels without consent? That was a new low. She stormed across the street, her voice trembling with rage. You had no right, Karen. Those panels weren't just for Methy-powered my security system. You've left my home vulnerable. The argument drew neighbors out of their homes. Tom, the HOA treasurer and Lila's childhood friend, hovered nearby, his face pale. He'd always been the peacemaker, but today his silence felt like complicity. Lila, calm down, he muttered, avoiding her eyes. The board approved it. Lila spun on him, her voice rising. Approved it? You knew what those panels meant to me, Tom. You knew about the break-ins, my panic attacks, everything. Her words hung heavy, and the crowd murmured, sensing the weight of her accusation. Karen scoffed, undeterred. Rules are rules, Lila. You can't just defy the community for your little eco-project. Her condescension was a match to gasoline. Lila stepped closer, her voice low and dangerous. You think this is about aesthetics? You painted over my safety, Karen. My home was broken into twice last year. Those cameras, those alarms, they're all dead now because of you. The crowd gasped, and Karen's smug expression faltered, just for a moment. Then came the twist. Mrs. Delaney, the quiet widow who lived at the end of the street, stepped forward, her frail frame trembling. She was rarely seen at HOA meetings, her presence so unassuming that most forgot she existed. But now her voice was steady, cutting through the tension like a knife. Karen, you didn't tell them everything, did you? All eyes turned to her. Mrs. Delaney pulled a crumpled letter from her pocket, an HOA notice, dated weeks ago, warning that Karen's own property taxes were delinquent. She pushed the uniformity vote to distract from her own violations, Mrs. Delaney said, her voice rising. She's been dodging fines for months. The revelation hit like a thunderclap. Neighbors whispered, their loyalty to Karen crumbling. Tom's face flushed with guilt. He'd known about Karen's taxes but stayed silent, hoping to keep the peace. Lila's anger shifted, now laced with betrayal toward Tom. You knew? She whispered, her voice breaking. Tom looked away, unable to meet her gaze. The confrontation reached its peak as Lila grabbed a paint roller from Karen's supplies, her hands shaking. You want uniformity? Let's make it fair. She marched toward Karen's pristine mailbox, raising the roller to deface it with the same white paint. Karen lunged to stop her, and Tom finally acted, stepping between them. Enough! He shouted, his voice cracking. This has gone too far. But it was too late. The crowd was divided, some cheering Lila's defiance, others defending Karen's authority. The neighborhood, once a picture of suburban harmony, was fracturing before their eyes. That night, the consequences unfolded. With her security system offline, Lila's home was targeted again. The burglars were swift, taking her laptop, her grandmother's jewelry, and her sense of safety. The police arrived too late, and the security footage powered by those ruined panels was blank. Lila sat on her porch, staring at the painted panels, her heart heavy with loss. Karen's victory had come at a devastating cost, and Tom's silence had enabled it. Mrs. Delaney's revelation had exposed the truth. but it couldn't undo the damage. The next morning, the neighborhood was quiet, the tension replaced by an uneasy guilt. Karen avoided Lila's gaze, her authority shaken. Tom left a note of apology, but it felt hollow. Lila looked at her defaced panels, a symbol of her fight against conformity, and wondered if individuality was worth the cost. The community was left to grapple with the fallout, their trust in one another shattered. What do you think, was Lila's defiance justified, or did Karen's rules serve a greater good? Share your thoughts on where justice lies in this fractured community.